All right. Well, hello, all you curious chickens, and welcome. So, this is going to be a series of Adam and I breaking down and kind of cracking on Disney Plus's The Mandalorian. And so, I got Adam on here. He's going to be a little bit more the expert on the subject than I am. So a little disclaimer: neither one of us are experts. He is much more than I am. This is simply us watching it, enjoying it, and just having some fun with it, So we're going to start with chapter 1. So with chapter 1, we get introduced to the Mandalorian, and he's on the hunt for a bounty on a frozen planet for some dude named Mithril or something like that. I think is his name. We don't know what he's done. We just know that he's going to track him down and take him in. So after a scuffle, he does capture him and take him in. And so now he's going to take him back to his ship. And so he shows up to catch this, I don't know, Uber, so to say, some kind of space Uber he's got going on here. Uber. So he's got the elephant boy with his fifth grade recorder there, going to call out the Uber, right? And so an Uber shows up. I'm going to call it the Uber. Y'all going to probably hate me for this, but whatever. That's what I'm going to call it. So he shows up. We've got a droid. And so now we get our little first taste of he's got issues with droids.
He's got the PTSD.
Right.
The post-droid stress disorder.
Right. So he's not feeling the droid. He wants some human interaction, right? So they have to call in another one, and they get this kind of broken down Uber that shows up, and so they go and they take off, and they're going across the ice, and the old dude's got the binoculars scanning, looking for something. We're not sure what it is, and the bounty, he seems pretty worried about it. Anyway, so they get to the ship, and so the dude says, "Hey, y'all be careful. You guys
stay off the ice."
Right. Get out of here. And as soon as he takes off, boom, he gets hit by this, what do you call it? The walrus crocodile.
The croco-walrus.
Croco-walrus thing.
Yeah.
Hits him.
That he just warned us about no less than 30 seconds ago.
Right.
Yeah,
so
it's a brilliant maneuver.
Yeah. Yeah. That made absolutely no sense. But that's okay. A part of the show. So the thing gets that, right? Nails it. And then all of a sudden, he's not satisfied. He wants more, so he's going to go after our hero, the Mandalorian, and his bounty. So he goes after him, and they pull him up into the ship, and so that thing clamps onto that, the walrus,
the landing gear.
Yep. Yeah, lands onto that, and so they have a hard time taking off. But he's got that cool little rifle with the
spatula on the end, the barbecue fork.
Yeah, the barbecue fork. Very nice. Yeah. And it zaps them with some electricity, and they're able to get away. So that was pretty cool.
Got out of there. Yeah.
So they take off. They're going. And all of a sudden, Fish Boy says he's got to take a poop, right? So
yes, that's what
do you call it? He's got to evacuate
the thorax, I think.
Something weird like that. Anyway.
Yeah.
So he goes ahead and he lets him go wander around. So he's going around the ship. I guess he's obviously trying to find a way to escape, I guess.
You would think, because he opened up the weapons locker, that if he's not looking for escape, why wouldn't he pick up a weapon and go back upstairs?
But I don't think that dude was a bad dude. I don't think he was like a killer, he didn't.
But even if you're not a killer, if you're being held and you're about to become an ice cube, would you not do anything and maybe it's the army in me, do anything and everything to escape, evade, all of that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't think I don't know. You kind of, honestly, you kind of feel for the guy a little bit.
True.
I have a little sympathy for him. It was like, hey, he obviously, made some bad gambling choices or something, or,
he owes the wrong people money.
He had sex with the wrong person or something. Who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, so he kind of, I guess he dawdles a little too long down at the bottom of the ship, and here comes a Mandalorian, and puts him in the frozen carbonite. Is that what it was
Right.
called? Like a Han Solo.
Right.
Got the look on the face. Which nobody looks happy when they're getting that done. I guess that's gotta be a pretty painful
instant freeze.
Yeah, experience.
Yeah, they look like the Star Wars Hershey's limited edition chocolate bars when they're done.
Right. Yeah. So he gets frozen and he lands and then he's going and he goes to see Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed himself.
Apollo Creed.
Yeah. So he shows up and I was kind of expecting Apollo Creed to do the whole Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah, air arm wrestle.
Yeah. So that didn't happen though, but that would be kind of cool.
No.
So he sits down with him and he's going to collect his money. And so I guess, he tries to pay him in the Imperial credit. So the Empire is done. I guess they're on their way out, right? Because of what, I guess because of Luke Skywalker and, what was that episode 6, I guess, The Return of the Jedi, right? That kind of ended the Empire, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and this apparently happens only a few years after that. So we apparently exchange rate is terrible.
Right. So nobody wants just like those Confederate dollars, after the Civil War. Nobody wants that shit anymore. So so he had to pay him
printed on 8.5 by 11 paper.
Right. So he pays him in some funky other stuff, but and then he tells him, hey, you need to I guess what was that guy's name? Our Carl Weathers, what was his name? I forgot his name. Anyway, his name was
I want to say it's like Greed or something like that. It's so weird.
The Apollo Creed.
Creed. It's I think it's Greed or something.
Yeah, they said nothing original. Let's just call him something similar to Apollo Creed. But anyway. So he does that and he says, hey, you take a vacation, chill out, go see some whores or go relax, do some drugs, weird shit. Anyway. So instead of the Mandalorian, he's all business, asks for another job. And so he's offered this once in a lifetime opportunity to get the ultimate bounty. No fob, right? There wasn't a fob with it, right? He had to go get the fob from the other.
He had to go get it. Yep.
From
he
the
had
other
to go talk to the client directly. It's Grief Karga, by the way.
Grief Karga.
Yeah, Grief. Okay. GREEF. Apparently,
this is why I have Adam, because I have no clue. Yeah. Anyway, so he goes to the secret location to get his new his bounty, and he comes across the stereotypical bad guy played
ex-Imperial type.
Yeah, Imperial German kind of thing, and so he goes and they tell him that, hey, this is a really big deal. He's going to down payment with these the Beskar steel, right? And that's the Mandalorians. I guess their sacred metal that they have or some shit like that. And
they make the armor from?
Yeah. So he's going to take it and he's going to accept the job. He takes that and he goes gets the armor, a piece of armor made. And I guess the leftovers go toward, Save the Children fund or something like that.
Right. Yeah. It's the original Salvation Army.
Right.
Change. Take all your coins.
Yeah, Sally Struthers is on there with just a few cents here could save another child.
Officially, they're known as foundlings, but we're gonna reach hands across America,
right?
Try to scoop up scraps.
Yeah, it's their version of foster care, so good for them. So so he gets that armor made, and he's so what does he do? So I guess he decides he's going to take off and. God, I forgot. You tell me. Help me. So he gets the armor made, and he goes on the hunt for.
He's got to go take his beeper and try to track down the quarry, as it were.
Oh, that's right. Then he goes to that planet.
Yeah.
And he gets attacked by these weird two-legged, giant-headed things. Blurgs, I think they were called.
Blurgs, yeah.
Blurgs, yes.
Yeah.
So he gets attacked by those, but he gets saved by this guy named Creel, I guess, something like that. And
It's Quill, I think.
Quill, that's right.
It's Rippin from Guardians of the Galaxy, spelled differently.
Ah, nice.
Kuiil. I don't
Okay.
know what two I's sound like.
Yeah, it's that long eye, short eye
Yeah.
thing, we learned in school. And so he helps him out. He's what I like about the dude is that when he's done with the sentence, when he's done with his statement, he says, "I have spoken."
Yeah.
You can't argue with the dude. It's like
indeed. He just puts his period on the end of the sentence and calls it a day. Famously played by Nick Nolte with no makeup, by the way. Just so you,
with his hat on, you're good. Right. Yeah, Nick Nolte. Yeah. Good dude. Didn't he go crazy at one time or something like that?
He still might be there.
Right.
But yeah, he did at one point. He's got a famous mugshot with his hair just crazy. Looks like he just woke up.
Yeah. Well, he's still getting work, I guess.
Yeah.
So good for him.
A working actor.
He did an awesome job. I loved that character.
Indeed.
Yeah. So he says, "Hey, I'm going to help you out with your bounty." And I guess they got some problems with the planet with some bad dudes on there. What were those dudes called? They're like called. They're like always the muscle for the hut people. You always see them around all the hut, Jabba the Hutt, and all them. But anyway,
right.
I forgot what they're called. Nick Curry, something like that. Anyway, I'm boring myself. Anyway, so here we go. He goes. He's gonna go get this quarry or get the bounty. He comes upon this encampment. They're everywhere, and he decides he's going to kind of sneak in and ambush his way in, I guess. And he comes. Oh no! He sees that droid, right? That droid down there.
The IG unit,
right? So he's like, "Damn, another droid." So his anxiety level just shoots up because he sees another droid, and he's not too happy about that. So that IG's down there shooting up, and so the Mandalorian shows up and says, "Hey, let's work together." And he's the droid's down with that, and so they blast their way in, and they come across the little crib, and in it pops out a gremlin.
Mm-hmm.
Got the cute ears, looking just like Yoda, kind of straight.
Yep.
Right. So there's no instructions with this Yoda, about feeding it after midnight, not getting it wet. They don't.
Exactly.
They just scoops it up, takes Baby Yoda out, and kind of. No. The droid wants to kill it, right? He wanted.
The droid wants to kill it. He needs to save it because they got two different orders from two different people. The client and the doctor both have different motivations, apparently.
That's right. Yeah. So he had to kill the droid to save
little
Yoda, and so now he's out at him.
Hello.
All right. So he's got the Baby Yoda. He goes, no, you got the Baby Yoda. He's heading back to the ship, and he sees that the ship is being destroyed by the Jawas. And the Jawas are tearing up the ship, stealing everything. And so the Jawas are everywhere. Everywhere you go, they're there. But you never see them flying any spacecraft. They always had that giant freaking sand walker.
Yeah, the crawler.
Right, everywhere. Yeah. So,
and we don't know if that's like the sand version of their flying ship. Like, does that thing transform and go all Voltron and then fly off planet? Or is that their Jeep being towed behind the RV equivalent?
I guess maybe they pull onto a much bigger carrier ship that, when it's time for them to spread the Jawa word to other planets. I don't know.
True. Yeah, they're everywhere, but we have no idea how they get there. Yeah. That's a very interesting point.
So he goes and he, typical Mandalorian style, he goes and starts shooting them up instead of, instead of talking, he uses his violence, not words, kind of thing. And he starts shooting
Sure.
them up, and so he's pretty unsuccessful because they end up zapping him and leaving him on the side of the road.
Right.
And, so here comes Krill, comes in, picks him up, and says, "Dude, you gotta use your words, not your
use your words."
Not, you know,
now he's a toddler,
not your fist, you know. So they go back and they go talk to the Jawas, and the Jawas said, "Look, you know, if you want your stuff back, you got to get us the egg."
The egg.
Right. So here the Mandalorian's got another hurdle he's got to clear. So he's gonna go find this egg. He comes upon this cave. It's all this muddy cave thing going on, and goes in there and comes across this rhino looking thing.
Mudhorn.
The mudhorn that's laid an egg. So he's got the platypus thing going on where he's the mammal egg laying thing.
The fuzziest egg I've ever seen.
Yeah, it is not appetizing at all.
That is that's one egg for an entire cowboy breakfast.
Right.
One scrambled egg everyone in town eats.
Ooh, yeah. It's a big egg. So he's got to battle the Mudhorn, and the Mudhorn pretty much is kicking his ass. And so Baby Yoda steps in at the last minute with the Force and does the whole thing. Eyes back in his head.
Yeah.
And it gives the Mandalorian enough time to take out his little dagger and do a very nicely placed stab, point, one.
Yeah.
He didn't have to do it multiple times. He just, at one time, he knew exactly where to get him. I was impressed.
And see, that's the thing that I question about all movies, really, is do these guys study anatomy of every creature around every galaxy so that they know, like Men in Black, they had problems, fighting aliens until they helped each other. He's a Balchinian, and then, his weakness is in his chin. How does this guy know the specific place to put that toothpick to skewer its brain? Like, it boggles my mind.
Yeah. Especially when it's covered in this thick hide of hair.
Yeah.
And it weighs probably.
And you would imagine a skull.
It's like 5,000 pounds and, just nothing but pure muscle. But he did it. He did it.
Yeah.
So he takes it out and he takes the egg back to the Jawas, and the Jawas, man, this is freaking Easter Sunday, man. They are happy as can be.
Cadbury egg.
And they just chop off the top and they eat that thing like a Cadbury Easter egg, and they are happy as can be.
And see, I was going the other route with it. I thought they wanted the egg to hatch it and then have their own Mudhorn like a pet, or a beast of burden to carry around. But it was literally just for protein loading.
Right. Yeah. That would make more. Yeah. But they're Jawas. They have, I don't know. They're not smart, I guess. I don't know.
Or they're brilliant. We don't. Who knows?
Maybe that's how they help when they procreate. They just protein load and they go to town on each other, because you don't see any women or men Jawas.
Can't tell.
They all look the same.
Yeah.
They're very.
That could be the start of the Jawa orgy.
Right. They're very gender fluid, I guess, amongst the.
Yeah, gender fluid Jawas. Lucas is rolling over in his grave right now.
Right. So, hold on. There's gonna be a lot of editing. All right. Which is all right. So anyway, he gets his parts back, and him and Krill go and they rebuild the ship. They pull an all-nighter. A lot of coffee, a lot of meth, and they pull it together and they rebuild that ship.
Do they have a manual?
No, man.
Everyone knows everything about everything. When my car breaks down, I take it to someone.
Right.
These guys just build spaceships like it's nothing.
Yeah.
That was maybe a night, 2 nights.
Right. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
What was it, like hundreds of Jawas to pull all that shit apart?
Yeah,
right.
It was the whole little township.
Right.
Took it apart, but 2 guys,
knocked it out in a matter of 12 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
That's Star Wars for you.
That
Anyway,
makes total sense.
sorry. So ship's back together. He's got the baby Yoda. He heads back, and um, Apollo Creed says, "Hey, take that your bounty to directly to the client."
Yep.
And so he shows up. The client is super happy. Everybody's
Indeed.
pretty happy. I will say a little side note that the stormtroopers look like garbage. They look terrible.
They looked awful.
Yeah, their armor.
They've been sleeping in uniforms. It's just terrible. Coffee stains everywhere.
Yeah, and they look like they weigh about 100 pounds soaking wet, and their armor looks horrible. But
with the Empire being gone, they're probably struggling to payday loans. I'm guessing is how they're getting along now. So they're not eating as well. The defac on the Death Star is gone.
Right.
It's been rough.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah. Well,
no Clorox wipes to be found. They just look terrible.
Yeah, that's true. It's very, very sad. So anyway, so they got the baby Yoda, and the Mandalorian breaks the code. Right, he goes against everything he's been taught and asked.
Don't ask
what is going to happen to his bounty.
Yep.
And he says, you know what, I'm going to give you all this metal, the Beskar metal, and you just,
mind your business.
He does the Jedi thing, says there's nothing to see here.
There's nothing to see here. Move along.
Yeah, move along. No joy here. So he takes that, and he shows up to the covert, right?
Right.
Where the blacksmith is, and man, they're super happy, except for that one dude. That one dude was not happy about it. He said, "These are Imperial forged Beskar. You are a traitor and a coward." And starts to so they start fighting, and the blacksmith has some wisdom and says, this dude is not those things.
He's chosen this life to live in hiding and have everyone hunting him. Right. So how can he be a coward?
Right.
Words of wisdom from the blacksmith.
Right. And so they say this is the way. So that's the new thing. The new meaning.
Yeah.
This is the way.
We're getting some great one-liners out of this show now.
Spoken. This is the way. So
exactly.
This is good. So so they go, and she makes him the full armor with it,
except one leg. It looked like.
What's that?
Except for his left or right leg.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you noticed that. Later episodes, you have to take a look. He's still got that red dinged up armor on his right thigh.
Well, damn.
Yeah, but almost a full set. Much more than the shoulder that he got last time.
Well, how much they set aside for the foundlings then?
I don't know. Not enough to make a thigh plate, apparently.
I know. That's kind of a ripoff.
Yeah. You'll have to check the later episode, see if you can see it as he's walking around.
Right.
I don't know if he lost it. Maybe he already lost it. Maybe she made him one, and he's like my 5-year-old, and he left it out somewhere, and it got lost.
Right. That's true.
Can't find his jacket anywhere.
Late for the war kind of shit.
Late for the war.
That's... Anyway. Yes. Anyway, so he's got the full set, and he's going to take off and go do another job. And as he's starting up the engines, he's like, you know what? I like that little green dude. There's something about him I like. And, and so he's going to go back, and he's going to go rescue him. And so he goes and he blasts his way back into the little fortress thing that's going on, and he doesn't kill the doctor, which I find
he doesn't.
But I figured because the doctor really wanted him alive, and maybe he said maybe he's a good dude after all. So you don't really know the Mandalorian's what do you call it? His code, I guess.
He kind of vacillates, doesn't he?
Yeah. So he'll beat up on some people, and if you give him good reasoning, he'll be like, all right, cool, you're cool. I'll slap you around a little bit.
Seems to be he's got morals, apparently.
Well, that's the word of the day. Morals.
Yeah. Morals.
Okay. So Mandalorian has morals. And he probably does. He seems like he does as we go on in this. So he rescues Baby Yoda, and so that word gets out amongst the town, and all these fobs are. So, which I don't understand are these things? There's like a bit of DNA in these things. How do you know that you're tracking? There's no implants, right?
Yeah. Maybe there could have been an implant. See, we don't know if this thing was in the lab and they implanted it and then someone took it.
Well, what about Fish Boy at the first? How do they know? True.
He also had the holocron hockey puck that had his image on it. So there might be maybe that's why they're collecting DNA from everybody now. Build a database, then we can track people.
Well, I guess maybe if you're picked up. Well, no, I don't know.
It's like fingerprints. You got a file rap sheet.
Right. So you got as part of your bond agreement, you have to give a little bit of saliva or blood or something.
So is Baby Yoda a criminal? Is he like a little bank robber? And
I don't know. Is he?
He bonded out and then fled the country.
I mean, he's cute as hell, and he could manipulate anybody into doing anything, and then he's got that force thing going on. So who knows? He could be he could be an evil Yoda.
And we don't know. That's the thing. That's why I'm still watching.
Right.
I need to find out what Baby Yoda's motivations are.
He eats frogs just with no problem. He's just swallows the whole, and who knows what this guy's up with this.
Yeah. Well, and I do have to ask. So, do his eyes get smaller as he gets older? Because Yoda didn't have giant eyes. He didn't have big baby doe eyes. Right?
Right.
So is this Baby Yoda skull going to get that much bigger that his eyes are going to look normal? Or did we just do this for the cuteness factor?
And that's part of it, I'm sure. So,
or is he a short person? Like he's a little person from his own race, maybe? I don't know. Maybe he's not a baby. He could be a little person.
Well, he's 50 years old, and their time.
Right.
I don't know. I guess maybe he grows into the ears, into the eyes, his skull gets bigger. I don't know. That's a good question.
Because his eyes are awfully huge in proportion to his head.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that addressed at some point.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet that's a marketing cuteness factor.
sell a toy or two, maybe.
Yeah, sell a couple of toys. They're like, oh, I mean.
You'll get more pickles and his lids will sag.
Really?
So, yeah. Well, that's interesting. I guess it could do that. So as it grows, we'll figure it out.
It's a different race. I get it, but it's a question. I don't. It's like I don't know.
Yeah. So now the Apollo Creed and the rest of the bounty hunters are pretty upset. They're gonna go and they're gonna get this Baby Yoda and they're gonna take out the Mandalorian and. So the big firefight, and then out of the blue, here comes the covert. All his fellow Mandalorians come out of hiding to help him out, and they got the jetpacks, and they got the guns, and they're blasting, jetpacking around like crazy. And,
indeed.
So they help him escape. So he gets Baby Yoda, jumps on the ship,
and he's
down for anywhere and everywhere. And as he's taking off, one of the Mandalorians does a flyby and gives him the salute. Yeah. Iron Man's his way.
Very War Machine, Iron Man.
Yeah, there you go.
It was great.
The freaking John Favreau can't let that shit go. I was an Iron Man. I'm going to make Iron Man and everything.
DNA, apparently. It's not going away.
Yeah. So and then what was interesting is that the Mandalorian, he's the one without a jetpack.
Yeah.
It's a statement that he needs to get a jetpack.
I need to get one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was interesting that he was without jetpack. So
he may not have the jetpack license.
Yeah.
Like, do you need to have a permit to fly one, own one? You have to go through classes like concealed carry.
Right. He missed that training day, I guess, when he's
right.
He's like, look, I'm hunting bounties. Y'all are playing with jetpacks,
Exactly.
Right.
And he had terrible armor up until now. So, I mean, maybe this guy he's new. New guy at work gets the bad gear.
Yeah. No, because he's not. Now, is Mandalorian a race or is it like a guild or is it like a tribe? Like you become.
Like well, apparently you can become one because he was found and brought in.
Right.
But it's basically a race. Like it's a people. So
okay.
I mean, there are Mandalorians, and then there are people that were raised by them, and apparently he is now one by association.
Right.
The adoption papers went through, and you're in.
Right. Well, that's what I was thinking. Maybe it's why he didn't get the jetpack. Or like, look, you're not truly born a Mandalorian. I mean, I don't know. I'm just.
That's very very possible.
Who knows?
I need them to knock off the Mando though. The abbreviation for that's bugging me with my grammar policeness is going off because it's not spelled Mando. It's A. There's an A at the end of it. So how do they come to this Mando? You take the O way from the end and just mash it in because it sounds cooler,
right?
Or
I think it's more of a macho masculine thing, I guess. If you call him Manda. He'll get teased about that, I guess. I don't know.
I get. Well, then I'm going to start calling you Hugh because I think there's HEW in your name somewhere, right?
Right.
So you're now Hugh just because it sounds cooler than Matt.
Right. That's different. I'll give you that. Hugh. All right.
Yeah.
Let's call you Am.
It's just that'll work too.
All right.
Yeah. It's just something that I keep hearing Mando and it sounds like a derogatory term. And then I thought about it the other night and I was like, why are they calling him Mando? That makes no sense.
Right.
But we'll see.
Well, so anything else that kind of stood out to you that you want to make a comment on?
No, I think you pretty much nailed it. You covered most of that stuff. And, I think that one of the things that they're going to need to do, I think personally for me, they're going to need to speed this thing up a bit. I get they're trying to get subscriptions and extend those out month to month, but holy crap, this thing feels like it's slow.
Yeah,
there's some real slow parts to it. It's I think forgivable because it is Star Wars and we're such big fans that we kind of stare at the screen. Oh, look at that. Oh, this is so cool. Oh, remember when they did that? And it kind of brings back all those cool memories of seeing Star Wars for the first time and that kind of thing. But it feels like a very slow weekly show, like Walking Dead slow.
Right.
To me, anyway.
Yeah. No, I agree. It is kind of drag out a little bit. So
yeah.
But hopefully, as it gets closer, as the season, the second half goes, you'll get a lot more action. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. All right. So I think we're gonna wrap up this chapter 1 discussion here, and I want to thank Adam for being on here. He's going to be on pretty much everyone that we can because, like I said, he's got a better grip on the Star Wars universe than I do. But we're both going to look at this as fans and have fun with it because I'm really happy with the series and where it's going. So hey, thanks for watching and be sure to subscribe and like and share, and we will be with you next time.